Afternoon.
Afternoon.
How you doing?
Patrick, Justin Herbert, I thought, played one of his best games as a pro, first game of this year. And I'm just curious, as you watch that film and look at him, how many different, I mean, how many different things stand out on film with him about their ability?
Obviously, the one that stands out, the run game for me, how he got into the different checks. They have a great system in terms of how they, run the ball, certain looks. Whether they're looking for the bubble, looking for the three technique, they do a good job there, making good decisions in the RPO game. Then from there, just like the quick decisions in the drop back passing game, and he's getting the ball out pretty quick. And if he doesn't have it, he has the ability to move around, whether he goes down the field with it or takes off. And, he looked pretty dynamic. I mean, that one play where he got called back because of whatever the penalty was, but, that was a good run.
Kelly was making his first career start last week against New England. Just what were your impressions of his performance and how encouraged are you moving forward with him?
Like I told you guys beforehand, I was interested to see how our corners tackled against Josh's run game, at New England, just in terms of how they get the corners involved. Most teams will try to get the corners involved in the run game, but I was impressed with how he stood out there in terms of crack replace, in terms of the run game, some of the passes out there to the flat. He came up and had some big hits. So that element of toughness from our corner position, that's something I'm looking for each week and looking to build upon that as we go.
All in all, how impressed were you with the tackling? It was the first game. A lot of times you see some sloppiness, maybe some missed tackles, but really didn't have too many of those.
If you take the first preseason game and you juxtapose that, I hope I'm using this term correctly, with the first regular season game, it was night and day. So to me, as a coach, to see that improvement, it's a credit to the players, all the hard work, because for us, we pointed it out from the first game and said, okay, here's how we're going to go about correcting it and how we're going to work it. And the guys really bought into it, and it showed up the first week, and we'll see how it goes this week. But we got to keep working it.
We saw you line up Max all over the field. We saw Tyree line up all over the field. What does it do for you as a defensive coordinator when you have versatile defensive linemen like that?
Anytime you have versatility with the front, especially myself being a front guy, I get a little smile and happy about that. And when they have success with it, then there's more buy-in, because, again, they have habits in terms of where they line up and what they like to do, just like when I played, I like to line up on one side. I didn't want, we used to fight about lining up on that side, but for them to have success in the different spots, that's the key thing to help build it and help give me more versatility as we move forward, or flexibility as we move forward.
Look where Max moved inside. What challenges does he present that are unique to playing inside with his style of play?
To me, most of the time when you're moving a longer body in there, it's their length, and then when you're talking about a defensive end, it's their quickness in terms of what the guards and centers have to normally deal with. So that's the biggest thing, and especially if a guy like Max who uses his hands, he's able to keep those guys off of him, use his length, quickness. That's the combination of those two are probably the most critical when you move them down in there.
What's been your impressions of Thomas Booker just from his first game and also his ability to adapt to the team so quickly after the trade?
He's a pro's pro. He came in, with a smile on his face, willing to learn, put in the time, and he has an element of toughness to him in practice. We saw that, the physicality was there. He's very strong and he stood out pretty quickly. But it's a pleasure to be around, talking to him during the game. It's been interesting there. He Stanford guy.
When you talk about pros, your linebacker group kind of fits that profile. There's a bunch of old heads, even though they're young men compared to.
I'm an old head.
Same here, so we say that relatively speaking. But what advantages is that for you as a coach to have some experience and savvy there?
The ball conversations, just to be able to talk football. Not have to draw everything up, reference a play from 2007, 18, 19, 20, whatever, and they know what I'm talking about, It's pretty cool. It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun with those guys. It's been a lot of fun.
Eric Stokes.
Season, but I was wondering about the growth of Isaiah Palomel and what you saw of him in the last game.
Well, Zay's been one of my favorites for a long time. When he was a rookie, we got him in there early. He's just growing as a field general, to use that term. He's a safety, so he's patrolling the middle of the field pretty well, and that's good to see. And the more reps he accumulates, the more the feel in terms of how the splits are telling him a story. Where is this receiver lined up? Everything's telling us a story back there, and the more reps he gets, the better off he'll be.
Eric Stokes played so well as a rookie then with the injury, but he certainly seems to be playing like he did then. Are you noticing being the Eric Stokes of old?
I'm not too concerned about the East Stokes of old. I know there was I remember him coming out of college and his talent. I remember early on in Green Bay. The thing about E for me, he's a pro's pro too. I hate to get into these cliches, but I mean, he works at his craft, pre-practice, post-practice, in the meeting room. He's so attentive to the details of his position, and it's no surprise that he's playing well.
Going back to Isaiah real quick. I mentioned to him yesterday, it seemed like he was comfortable dislodging the ball, putting the hit on. Now it looks like he's going and chasing and hunting the ball. Are you seeing that maturation as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just, we're always, it's open audition for ball hawks. So if you want to get on the field and you want to play more, be a ball hawk. So we try to make that point to the guys, and he's buying into it.
What does Jermaine Pratt bring to the defense that you didn't have last season?
I can't reference last season, but I mean, Jermaine, what he brings to us, he brings intelligence, he brings leadership qualities, ability to communicate, and then he's a big body that moves well. So all that stuff are positive.
Landon Roberts has been the green dot guy. He comes off the field in situations. How does that operation shift when the green dot guy technically isn't on the field?
Yeah, we got our ways, okay? Start telling you people gonna be looking for signals and stuff. No, I can't get into all that now. All right.
All good, guys?
Good. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.